Life passes faster than we realize. One moment we are dreaming about tomorrow, and before we know it, the years have slipped through our fingers like grains of sand. Time is a silent river, always moving, never waiting. Every heartbeat is a quiet reminder that we are inching closer to the threshold of eternity. It is easy to live as though we have endless days ahead, but the truth is, no moment is promised, no breath is guaranteed. We walk through life often unaware of how precious each second is, thinking we have more time to forgive, more time to love, more time to step into the calling God has placed on our lives. But the wise understand that life is not something to be spent carelessly. It is a gift entrusted to us, a sacred opportunity to make our time here count for something greater than ourselves. Every sunrise we witness is a miracle, a new page in the story God is writing through us. Yet how often do we rush through our days, distracted by temporary worries, chasing things that will one day vanish like mist before the morning sun? The treasures of this world, the applause, the possessions, the titles, they are nothing more than fading echoes in the halls of eternity. What endures is not the fleeting success we chase, but the eternal impact we make when we choose to live every day for the glory of God. Time is not merely passing, it is being spent. Every moment we live is a moment we will never get back. How we spend our minutes will one day be how we spent our lives. There is a divine urgency written into the fabric of time itself. We are not here by accident, and we are not given endless chances to live with purpose. Life demands that we open our eyes, that we awaken our souls to the reality that today, this very moment, matters more than we know. Tomorrow is not a guarantee. It is a hope. And hope should never be the excuse to delay living fully, faithfully, and fearlessly today. If life is a vapor, then every second must be treated with reverence as a moment crafted by God's own hands, filled with the potential to change a life, to speak hope, to love deeply, to glorify Him completely. Those who understand the brevity of life do not waste their days in bitterness or regret. They do not chase every shallow pleasure, nor do they live at the mercy of fleeting emotions. They rise with gratitude, they walk with purpose, and they rest each night knowing they gave their all to what truly matters. They understand that a life lived for self is a life that withers, but a life lived for God blossoms into a legacy that cannot be erased. Every second carries eternal weight. Every breath is an offering that can either be spent on the temporary or invested into the eternal. We are not called to merely exist. We are called to live with holy fire. We are called to live with the awareness that we are on a divine mission, that each heartbeat is a chance to align our lives more closely with the will of God. To waste a day is to waste a masterpiece of opportunity. To drift through life numb and unaware is to squander the greatest gift we have been given. Let us be the ones who wake up each morning and say, God, I know this day is a gift. I know this life is short. Help me live it for you. Because in the end, when we look back, it will not be the possessions or the applause that will matter. It will not be the wealth we amassed or the accolades we earned. It will be the moments when we loved selflessly, when we forgave without conditions, when we spoke life into weary souls, when we chose faith over fear, and when we lived boldly for the God who gave us breath. Life is short, eternity is waiting. And the way we live today, achievements, possessions, and status are dust in the wind. We chase after them with relentless passion, convincing ourselves that if we just climb higher, earn more, or possess greater things, we will finally feel complete. But every worldly prize, no matter how glittering, eventually loses its shine. The houses we build will crumble, the titles we earn will be forgotten, and the wealth we accumulate will slip through our fingers when we take our final breath. Earthly success is a mirage. It promises fulfillment, but it leaves the soul thirsting for more. We were not created for temporary crowns. We were made for an everlasting kingdom. The human heart longs for something that no earthly treasure can satisfy because it was crafted to be filled by the eternal love of God alone. What we build on this earth will pass away, but what we build for His glory will stand firm forever, untouched by time, untouched by decay. Chasing the world leads only to emptiness. We see it in every broken story, every restless heart that seems to have everything yet feels like they have nothing. Fame cannot quiet the soul's deepest questions. Fortune cannot soothe the ache of a life without purpose. When we live only for ourselves, we are like ships without a harbor, tossed by every wave of disappointment, searching for meaning in places that cannot provide it. But when we chase after God, when we seek His kingdom first, everything changes. We find joy that does not depend on circumstance, peace that cannot be shaken, purpose that cannot be stolen. Living for God fills the soul in a way no earthly prize ever could. His purpose anchors us. His calling fuels us. His love becomes our true reward, and suddenly the things of the world lose their grip on our hearts. True wealth is found in knowing Him and making Him known. True legacy is not in the monuments we build or the accolades we gather. It is in who we become for His glory. It is written in the lives we touch, the hope we sow, the love we pour out without expecting anything in return. A life lived for God leaves footprints in eternity, while a life lived for self fades like a forgotten whisper. When we live every day for His purposes, our lives become a lighthouse in a dark world, a beacon that points not to ourselves but to Him. That is the only legacy that matters. A life that reflects the heart of God, a life that heaven rejoices over, a life that echoes forever in the courts of eternity. Time is not just passing, it is slipping away with a quiet urgency that many ignore until it is too late. Every sunrise we experience is not just another day to be endured or another box to check. It is a sacred invitation to live with eternity in mind. When we live without thinking about forever, we waste today on things that do not matter. We give our best energy to what is temporary and leave little for what is eternal. But when we begin to see beyond this moment, beyond this world, everything changes. We begin to live with holy intentionality. Every decision carries weight because we realize it is not just about here and now. It is about forever. Every word we speak can either sow seeds of life or wither into regret. Every action we take has the potential to echo into eternity. Life is not a series of random events. It is a carefully crafted story where each page matters. Every moment is a chance to write something eternal with our lives, something that will not fade when the world around us fades away. Living for God means waking up each day with the awareness that time is a precious resource, one that we are called to invest wisely. We must live as if today were the only day we had, because for many it is. There is no room for procrastination when we are living with eternal eyes. There is no room for delay when souls are on the line and destinies are hanging in the balance. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to show love. Every act of kindness becomes a doorway for God's light to shine. Every prayer whispered in faith becomes a ripple that reaches far beyond what we can see. The smallest acts done in obedience to God are magnified in His kingdom. Living with eternity in mind transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It takes the routine, the overlooked, the mundane, and infuses it with divine purpose. Nothing is wasted when it is placed in the hands of God. No moment is meaningless when it is lived for His glory. This life is a vapor, but the way we live it can ring across the heavens for all of time. The enemy wants us distracted, entertained, numbed by the temporary pleasures of this world so that we lose sight of what is truly at stake. But God is calling us higher. He is calling us to rise above the noise and live for what will never die. The applause of men fades, but the approval of heaven is eternal. The possessions we chase will gather dust, but the souls we touch for Christ will shine forever. To live with eternal eyes is to live with boldness, to love without fear, to serve without hesitation. It is to embrace the truth that the greatest use of our lives is to spend them for what will outlast us. And when our time here ends, as it surely will, we will not fear the moment we step into eternity, because we will have lived every day preparing for it. Surrender is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. In a world that teaches us to grasp, to control, to dominate every area of life, surrender feels unnatural. Yet true life begins when we lay everything down at the feet of God. To surrender every moment is to recognize that our lives were never ours to begin with. They are His, a masterpiece He is shaping with infinite wisdom and love. Every plan we have, every dream we chase, every fear we carry becomes an offering when we choose to live surrendered. It is not resignation to failure. It is trust in a greater victory than we could ever accomplish on our own. When we surrender, we exchange our small ambitions for His boundless purpose. We give up the illusion of control for the reality of divine destiny. Surrender transforms us. It softens the hard places of our hearts, strengthens the weary parts of our souls, and aligns us with the heartbeat of heaven. Living for God requires daily, wholehearted surrender. Not once, not occasionally, but every single day. It is in the small, hidden moments when no one is watching that true surrender is forged. It is in the choices we make when no applause will follow, in the sacrifices we offer when no one will see but God. Surrender is not an emotion, it is a decision. It is waking up and saying, God, not my will, but yours be done, even when our own plans seem more comfortable, more predictable. It is trusting Him when the path is unclear, when the answers are delayed, when the doors seem closed. It is believing that His way is better, even when it stretches us beyond what we think we can bear. True surrender is costly, but it is the only road to a life of true significance. When we surrender every moment to God, He transforms ordinary days into extraordinary destinies. What seems small in our hands becomes mighty in His. A simple act of kindness becomes a lifeline for a hurting soul. A quiet prayer becomes a catalyst for miracles. A word of encouragement spoken in obedience becomes a seed planted in eternity. When we live surrendered, we begin to see the fingerprints of God everywhere. In the conversations we have, the places we walk, the doors He opens, and the ones He mercifully closes. Our lives become a canvas for His glory, a symphony that plays the song of heaven on earth. True living begins not when we grasp for more, but when we give all that we have to the one who gave His all for us. Comfort zones are the graveyards of God-given dreams. It is easy to settle into what is safe, what is predictable, what feels secure. But God never called us to a life of mere survival. He called us to a life of bold, daring faith. Comfort lulls the soul to sleep, making us forget that we are part of a divine story that demands courage, not complacency. Life is too short to waste clinging to what feels easy. It is too short to spend worrying about what people will think or what might go wrong. We are not promised endless tomorrows to finally take the leap, to finally say yes to the call of God. The clock is ticking, not to scare us, but to awaken us. It reminds us that now is the time to move, to speak, to give, to build, to love with abandon. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but purpose will fuel the soul for a lifetime. A life spent in comfort will end in regret. A life spent in bold obedience will end in glory. Rise every morning with a fire to make your life count for God's kingdom. Let the first breath you draw each day be a declaration of war against fear, against laziness, against anything that would hold you back from living fully for Him. Purpose is not stumbled upon by accident. It is pursued with passion, day after day, decision after decision. You are not created to blend in, to live small, to let your dreams die quietly within you. You were created to stand out, to shine brightly, to bring heaven's light into the darkest places. That kind of life will cost you. It will cost your comfort. It will cost your convenience, but it will be worth it 1,000 times over. When you choose impact over ease, you step into the full destiny God has placed within you. You stop asking how little you can do to get by and start asking how much you can give to see His name glorified on the earth. Greatness is not found in living easy. It is found in living purposefully for Him. It is found in the moments when you push past fear and choose faith. It is found in the sacrifices you make when no one is watching. It is found in the perseverance you show when the battle is fierce and you feel like giving up. A life of impact is not reserved for the extraordinary. It is reserved for the willing, those who dare to believe that their life surrendered to God can be a mighty weapon in His hand. Life is too short to live in neutral. It is too precious to spend it building a kingdom that will not last. Choose today to live with holy passion. Choose today to rise above the ordinary. Choose today to make your life a declaration that God is worthy of it all.